Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a video on my ultimate sexiest fragrances for women. This is of course a super subjective video. Everyone's version, interpretation of what sexy is and what it smells like is different, I'm sure, but these are from my extensive perfume collection, the ones that I think are the sexy fragrances and the ones that I would get out for a sort of date night occasion, going to a bar, or you know, whatever the occasion might be that would call upon a sexy fragrance. I have loads to take you through, so sit back, get a cup of tea, I know I've got mine, and I'll take you through all my ultimate sexy fragrances. If you are new here, then hello and welcome. We have all about perfumes here. I have hundreds and hundreds of other videos about perfumes. All the ones I mention here, I will have videos on them and others in the range explaining the difference. So I'll try and leave the relevant videos linked down below. And if you are a regular viewer but you haven't subscribed yet, then do hit that red subscribe button and show your support and get involved in the comments down below. And as always, I will leave the links in the description box to where you can buy all these perfumes in the UK, Europe and USA. So I think I'm going to start off with my favourite perfume for those special occasions, with the one that I reach to first if I'm looking for a sexy perfume, and that is Lancome's Tresor Midnight Rose. So if you've watched a lot of my videos, you'll know that this is one of my favourite perfumes of all time. It came out quite a while ago, maybe 15 years ago, and I absolutely love it. It is a deep nighttime blackcurranty, syrupy, red fruits fragrance. There's nothing else quite like this. It can be a bit divisive. I know friends who've bought this and then have said they've gone off it because it's quite heady. It really sticks around and stays on you, so you have to be comfortable with that type of perfume. It has a rose fragrance in it, as you'd expect from the name Midnight Rose, but it's not like a, you know, bunch of roses type smell. It's more of a sexy, sensual rose underneath all these syrupy, curranty smells. And it has a bunch of cassis in, which is like the plant that blackcurrant comes from. For me, as a lover of blackcurrant, of curranty fruits of the forest type smells, this is like the sexy way of getting curranty berry fragrances. It's definitely nighttime, it's definitely intense, and I will spray this like all in my hair and on my clothes, and it really lingers around, stays on you, and I think it's very mysterious. It's super feminine but in a very grown-up sexy way. It's quite affordable because it's been around for ages, and I think the bottle is beautiful as well. So this is my #1 sexy fragrance for me, in my opinion. Another one which I'm loving at the moment, I think the Armani C range, which also have cassis in, but also some vanilla, which is obviously quite a sweet and sexy smell. I think these are a good sexy perfume. Their new one, which is Armani C Intense 2021 version, has extra blackcurrant in, so I've been wearing this a lot. It's just come out and I've been wearing it all the time. I'm obsessed with it at the moment. I think that's a sexy smell. It's cassis, a bit of the vanilla, but then you have extra blackcurrant, so it's kind of like the Tresor Midnight Rose, but that one is more cassisi, I think, and more syrupy. And then the original Eau de Parfum is a bit more vanilla-y, patchouli, I think. Like the C range are really good for lasting. They're really strong. They're good perfumes. I think the original, the intense version, maybe the red one, are quite sexy. The Fiori one, the pink one, that is not, I would say, sexy. It's a bit fresher, more daytime. I know that's very popular. but I'd say the original and this new intense one and the passion versions are the sexy ones. But this new one, if you haven't tried it yet, if you love blackcurrant, you have to get this. I'm obsessed with it. I need to get more of it. So a new release that came out again actually from Lancome a few months ago is their Lenoi Tresor Dentelle de Rose, which means like lace roses, and it has all this lace on the bottle. It's a very like sexy marketing, sexy bottle. If you're not familiar with the Lenoi Tresor range, they come in these really cool diamond shapes. I really love them. They have the rose on just like the midnight rose. And this one is actually quite similar to Midnight Rose. I'd say it's a little bit fresher, has more of a sort of fresh raspberry feel to it. It's not quite as dark and syrupy as Midnight Rose. I would personally wear this during the day as well as at nighttime, even though the branding and everything really screams lacy, sexy nighttime. I actually think the original version of Lenoi Tresor, which I have here in a mini, I think this is the sexiest from their range. This one is a praline-y, almost chocolatey type perfume. It's sweeter. Penelope Cruz is the face of the fragrance, and I just think the whole thing is very date night, sexy fragrance. So if you like praline-y, chocolatey scents, then I think this one, the original Lenoi Tresor, is the sexy one for you. And then speaking of praline, I wanted to mention Lancome's La Vie Belle. So this is one of the best-selling perfumes in most countries in the world right now. It's a vanilla and praline. It's really quite sweet, but I think that is a sexy fragrance because it's so sweet. It's quite heady. You really have to like vanilla to like this. There are like intense versions, absolute versions as well, which I think are quite sexy. And then there are lighter versions, and there's the new one, Soleil Crystal, which is coconutty. Those ones I wouldn't class as sexy, but the original Eau de Parfum, I think praline and vanilla, and it's heavy, it's strong. I think that is classed as a sexy perfume in my opinion. So next on my list is one from Givenchy, and it's their L'Interdit Intense. So L'Interdit means forbidden in French. They have had a L'Interdit perfume out for many, many decades. Audrey Hepburn was the face and the muse for the fragrance, but they've recently reformulated it. It's a floral tuberose perfume, but this new version, Intense, has this amazing sesame note in it, which makes it really warm. There's a bit of pepperiness in there, and orange blossom with the tuberose gives this quite a heady, warm feeling. I think this is lovely for winter, and the sesame, there's something about it, I think, which really makes this interesting and sexy and unusual. You've also got vanilla and patchouli in here, which give this a really strong lasting power. It lasts really well. I think, you know, the whole branding of the black bottle and everything, I find this a mysterious perfume, and I would definitely put it in the sexy category, whereas the others in the L'Interdit range are perhaps more daytime, really classy, but this is like a classy, mysterious nighttime smell. Not many people have sesame in their perfume, right? Next on my list is one from Guerlain, and it's their Petite Robe Noir. These are wonderful almond fragrances, so very, very heady, quite sweet, and then you have a cherry note in here as well. It's really strong almond, really strong cherry. I think with this being Guerlain and French, and you know, the bottle and everything, I always imagine that this would be worn by someone like at the Moulin Rouge or something. Very, very heady and sexy, very nighttime, really good for lasting. You really get this strong, very deep cherry, like a cherry liqueur, and then the almond as well is very sweet and deep, and it's a really unusual, really good perfume. I love the bottle of this perfume. I think it's beautiful. And this one you can often find at really good prices. I know Guerlain is not a cheap brand, but you can get this sometimes like half price. So I will find this at a good price for you guys and leave it in the links. So if you like your fruity perfumes like me, you probably like Mon Paris from YSL, one of my favorite perfumes, strong patchouli and then beautiful raspberry. But their Intensement version, which they brought out last year, I think is like a sexier version of it. It's like their nighttime version. So you have blackcurrant in here with the raspberry, you have loads of different roses and a cashmeriness, bit of vanilla. So I think this is perhaps a little bit more tame, a little bit younger than some of the others. And it still has that fruitiness, and it's not got the intense syrupy fruitiness that we get in the Lancome or perhaps the Tresor Dentelle de Rose. But I think this is more towards the sexy end, certainly the sexiest from the whole range of the Mon Paris, because it has the blackcurrant added and the rose is not as fresh. It's a bit more heavier, a bit more nighttime, and I love the colour of the bottle. I think it's beautiful. So I wanted to include this if you want something that's still got a freshness to it, but is still sexy. From Jimmy Choo, I think their Jimmy Choo Fever is the sexiest from the range. This is a tonka bean perfume. So tonka bean is super warm. It's like a dried bean. And this makes it relatively sweet. It's quite a sweet fragrance, but it's a warm fragrance. But if you look at the sort of promotions and everything for this, I think it is, of all the Jimmy Choo fragrances, the most sexy, the most, you know, for going out to a bar, date night type fragrance. Again, it's got this like darker, sexier vibe to the colouring and the packaging and everything. So this is quite warm. You could definitely, I think, wear it during the day and then perhaps use a lot more sprays at night time to give a very warm, cozy, but still interesting and sexy smell. One from Dolce & Gabbana is their very sweet Dolce & Gabbana Perfume Intense. This has marshmallow in, which makes it super sweet, but it's not like girly candy shop, sweet shop sweet. You have a heavy neroli, tuberose, orange blossom, with that marshmallow makes this a deep, sweet perfume, and definitely sexy. It's got that headiness, that sweet headiness to it. You know, look at the bottle, it's really dark, nighttime. It is definitely an intense perfume. It lasts really well. So if you like marshmallow, you like that very sugariness, but you want something sexy, a lot of these sugary perfumes are more daytime, then this is your best, like sugary, super sweet, but still feminine Dolce & Gabbana Perfume Intense. And again, you can usually get this at good prices. And then I wanted to throw in some really affordable, sexy perfumes. So some celebrity ideas. So I think Christina Aguilera's Violet Noir. A lot of her perfumes are quite sexy. She has a lot of vanilla ones. Violet Noir is my favorite just because it has a bit of a floral sense to it. I have a video on all the Christina perfumes. I'll leave that linked. And then from Britney Spears, the Midnight Fantasy is a sweet berry smell. I always used to wear this when I was like younger, when I was going out, so I associate it with like parties, and I think it's quite sexy because it really sticks around. It's sweet, it's heady sweet, but sweet fruity. I think that classes as a sexy perfume because it's so heady. So most of my personal preferences for sexy perfumes tend to either be sweet or fruity, which is my personal like style of fragrance. I think other ones which I know people find to be good sexy perfumes, the Agent Provocateur range have some really strong orientals, some strong chypre perfumes which are good for that sexy vibe. The Dior Poison range, the original is that heavy oriental with incense, and then Hypnotic Poison, which is that super sweet almond. They're both very sexy, but both too strong for me. I love the bottles though. And some people do tend to go more towards the oriental side of things if they're looking for a sexy perfume with incense in, or perhaps oud or something, Tom Ford Black Orchid, but that's not my taste in perfume, so I've not included them here. So guys, let me know what your favourite sexy perfumes are. What would be your ultimate sexy perfume? Let me know down below in the comments. But that's it. So thanks so much for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.